G'day guys, how you doing? Surprise, surprise. I'm back with another video. First and foremost, Merry Christmas. Today, as I sit here right now, it's Christmas morning. So to anybody that is into celebrating this pagan holiday, Merry Christmas to you all. As the title says, we're going to be talking about the chosen ones and the truth behind the chosen ones. And I'm going to first explain this. Once you've experienced something like I've experienced, where I've been to the heavenly realm, talked with my soul guides, experienced God, like one-on-one with God, I can unequivocally tell you beyond a doubt that every living thing on this planet, and I mean every living thing, comes from one source consciousness. Period. And that source consciousness is what we would call God. Okay? Now, when I mean every living thing, I mean all the human beings, I mean all the animals, I mean the trees, the plants, anything that is living, even the planet, whatever it is that we're living on, even that is a living entity, and it has source consciousness. So in understanding this stuff, when you start to realize that we come from and go back to the exact same source consciousness. Doesn't matter what the human being does or what the individual does in this lifetime while they're living here. We all come from the same source consciousness, and we all go back to the same source consciousness. We only come from one specific place. Period. No exceptions, bar none, end of story. And the amazing thing about it is when you actually understand this, like I understand it, you look upon everybody else as either a brother or a sister. Doesn't matter what language we speak, doesn't matter what the color of our skin is, doesn't matter where we're from around the world. We are all brothers and sisters. The source consciousness is what we could define as being our father, and the planet, terra firma, earth, whatever you want to call this place, is the mother. The father gives us the source energy that gives us the spark, our soul, our energy that makes us who we are. And this here, I'm up in the back hills, but mountains up and behind Los Angeles. This is the mother. So when our energy leaves us, this stays here to replenish the earth. We go back to the earth. So this is the mother. This is what nurtures us, feeds us, and gives us this as a mineral, chemical, biological skin suit. And the source consciousness is what gives that skin suit the energy to live. So in understanding this, I can honestly say that there is not one specific group of people who are any better than any other group of people. There are no single group of people that are chosen by that source consciousness to be here to perform specific tasks, etc. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a New Age spiritualist. I don't care if you're a Christian, Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim, practice Judaism. I don't give a poop who you are or where you're from. No one on this planet is chosen. Bar none. Period. End of story. And everything about the chosen ones is an absolute fabricated crock of doo-doo based on some biblical texts, some writings that go back thousands upon thousands of years, which the majority of those writings are just straight out creationist myths. That's all they are. When you look at the Greek and Roman empires and how they had the multiple gods and how they worshipped this god and that god and all these different gods, those are myths. They were creationist stories. Now, the Romans aren't running around, stating that those stories are facts and that the Romans are chosen ones. It's all been a concocted bunch of lies based on fantasy. And I mean it. The actual genuine teaching of Israel is an ancient teaching of a trinity. Remember I mentioned about worshipping multiple gods. Okay, who's Ra? Right? We all know who Ra is. Ra's the ancient god of what? The sun. The sun god. The son of God. Huh. Kind of interesting, isn't it? He rises every morning. He is risen, just like he is right now in the sky, right there. Ra. They had to come up with stories to explain this, because something like the sun rising every morning brought life to the planet. So obviously they would look at the sun and go, well, it's like a god. Oh my gosh. But how do we spend time with that god? Well, you had the other gods, Is and El. Is, Ra, El. Is was the god of... Is was the god of birth, rebirth, death, reincarnation, all that sort of stuff. And El was the god of, if I remember correctly, like earth, terra firma, like here, down on this planet. And interestingly enough, I saw, many years ago, I saw a picture of this description of Israel on a stone tablet that went back to God. It was so ancient, it was absolutely ridiculous. And above Iz's head was a triangle like this that pointed up. So when you would be with Is, or Isis, the god of death and rebirth, spiritual reincarnation, all that sort of stuff, the teaching was that you would leave your body and go and join Ra. When you used the god Is or Isis, you left your body and rose to be with Ra. And then to come back down, to be reborn, to spend time back here on earth, you would work with El. And El had a triangle pointing down over its head, right? So you've got these three gods. You've got Is, Isis, Ra, and then El. As I said, Is has a triangle going up. El has a triangle coming down. Now, what represented Ra was like the all-seeing eye, the eye of Horus. And but once you became practiced in this teaching, those up and down triangles became one. Well, you put a pointing up triangle and a pointing down triangle over each other. What do they represent? Oh, yeah, they represent the Star of David. Huh. Which was referred to as Solomon's temple. The human body's Solomon's temple. It's not some brick and mortar building on a chunk of dirt in some part of the world. No. God's temple, Solomon's temple, has always been the human body. And the only reason this buffoonery has been completely and utterly misrepresented is because of religion. And a good example is the Christian Bible. The Christian Bible was written on behalf of the chosen ones thousands of years ago, on behalf of what became the Catholic Church, where they took a whole bunch of these ancient stories, compiled them in a book, to get the Christians under control. And in all honesty, the whole chosen one BS story actually came out of Christianity. It was the Christians back about, I don't know, it was like 500, 600 years ago. They started to believe that they were the chosen ones. Nobody's a chosen. Look at what happened. The last group of people that thought that they were a chosen group of people, a group of people called the National Socialists in Germany, had literally convinced the whole country that they were the chosen nation, the Aryan nation, the chosen white people over everyone else. And next thing you know, look at the atrocities that they were performing on behalf of being chosen. All this stuff is just absolute insanity. And the creationist story behind Israel isn't for one group of people either. It is for the entire human race. Every human being on this planet is an Israelite. Every single one of us. There's no one group of people that's any different to anyone else. When you understand the creationist story, the 12 tribes of Israel, they were the 12 tribes that spread out around the world. The original human beings that were seeded on this planet. We are all the Israelites. Some are just a little bit more smarter and more aware and more up to speed on this stuff than the rest of the Muppets out there. But the reason why people aren't up to speed on this stuff is they have been indoctrinated via religion. It's the religious texts that are incorrectly taught. It's the religious texts and the dogma from those religious texts that are utilized to control and to manipulate people. What if I was to tell you that certain members of the Masonic Lodge, once they get to a certain level, actually have to go around the churches in Western society and make sure that certain dogma is being taught correctly? Isn't it ironic that there's this group of people over here pretending to be a specific group of people, the chosen ones, but yet in your biblical texts, which was written by the chosen ones way back before they were ever supposedly chosen, actually left something in your Bible to warn you about anyone pretending to be the chosen ones. They called it the synagogue of Satan, didn't they? But that's completely and utterly left out of the loop. Completely left out of the loop. So the reality of the situation is, first, we all come from the same source consciousness. Two, none of us are chosen. And in actual fact, every human being, every living life form on this planet has volunteered to be here. We've all volunteered. Okay? None of us. If there's ever a person or a group of people that could say, hey, I'm a chosen one, would be people like myself that had the hand of God put me back in my body. I didn't want to come back. I could say, I was chosen by God. God put me back in my body. I wouldn't be so arrogant. So that's the reality of the situation. And the deep down truth in regards to all of this is the fact that we really are just all brothers and sisters. So that's the video. I mean, if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. The one thing that I am going to start doing is, over a year ago, I did a video about my near-death experience, and I had thousands of questions. So I'm just going to start answering those questions for people. That's pretty much it. So until the next video, take it easy, guys. Cheers.